Welcome everybody, thanks for joining for the fourth in our series on skills with Leatham Green, who's Transformation Director at Oracle and focusing on the public sector and is an expert in this area and is now going to talk a little bit about how technology can help us navigate through the complexities of skills, competencies and capabilities.
Good to see you, Tom. Thank you for inviting me. And the key issue here is all about data and have we got the right level of data. And of course, technology really helps us to be able to collect that data much more effectively.
And marshal it in a consistent way.
Right from across the business. I mean, organisations like Oracle really allow us to connect all of the dots within business, to pull it together and create that single source of truth.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely essential to start plugging that gap in terms of where are we now with our workforce and skills, capabilities and competence level, and where do we want to be in the future.
Right, so presumably this all starts at at the highest level as a workforce plan as what is our business intending to achieve. Then the technology, or rather the technology allows us to store then the capabilities which are required to win in that market, which then breaks down into therefore what are the skills and what are the competencies, the levels of competence in those skills required within our business to achieve that. And presumably below that, and once that structure's in place, one can then create pathways as to how people get to those different levels. Is that how it works?
Yeah, and the pathway is a really great thing. In the world of Oracle, we have something called journeys, which allows us to be able to personalize and kind of, really make it feel unique and special to the individual in terms of your journey, in terms of your career progression. One of the key things why people will leave their work is because they feel there's no career progression possible. And this ability to be able to identify to an individual, this is what you're going to need to get your next level, your next promotion. This is what you perhaps need to be doing to keep your skills relevant and up to date.
Right, because that's exactly what I hear from so many people in the marketplace. They join a business and there's a lot of talk about skills progression, there's a lot of talk about competencies, growth and all that kind of stuff. And it's very personalised, but then delivering on it is why people end up leaving. It's kind of like 2 years in and I don't feel that my skills have been developed or been developed in a consistent manner towards a particular outcome.
Yeah, and it goes back to your point of that strategic workforce plan. Do we understand what we're trying to achieve and deliver? Breaking it down into individual jobs and then the individual. So I arrive with a particular skill set, which might be very different from yours. We're doing the same job.
So personalising that journey, but doing it on an industrial scale, so that then, from an individual's perspective, it's a personal journey, but it's connected to that top-down workforce plan for the overall business.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So if you get that right, presumably, it unlocks that question about what is my contribution to the growth of the overall business and its success.
I mean, I find it really quite cool on a Monday when I log into the system. I've got this nice little message saying, here's my reading for the week, which I've kind of been able to set up, and here are a few courses which have come up which perhaps will be helpful and effective for you in your job. So they're all really nudges using machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotics.
Yeah, to nudge people and see that route. Yeah. But I do think that the point you're making, which is that we all know about skills, competencies and all that stuff, and we talk about it and it all sits in our strategy, but actually not doing that at an industrial scale individually is why people leave our business and why people don't feel that they're being fulfilled in their business. So this is really critical in the new world, right?
It's one of the power plays that we've got to be able to address. Mm-hmm. Making it personal, making it feel uniquely as if you care about that individual and you've got a vested interest. Of course, I as an employee have got a responsibility to do something about it, but you as the employer have got to make sure that you're removing as many blocks as possible to make my path actually achievable and attainable.
Yes, and as you said in the general context of first of these presentations, we can't rely on the educational system to do this. We need to generate those skills which we need within our business and at the competency levels clearly. and it's what everyone's asking for. People, all younger colleagues who join our business believe that their education, etc., was just the first step of their journey, and are now joining to further that education in their business life.
One of the key messages I've been given through these programs is about leaders. Leaders need to be lifelong learners, and this enables these little nudges of leaders equally to embrace and engage in this process of learning. If they understand it, it's more likely then to filter down to the people who they're leading and managing.
Yes.
Yeah? And they've got to be able to embrace it. And that is a key responsibility of leaders, to demonstrate the fact that they're engaged in this process of lifelong learning.
Well, Leatham, thank you very much for all of the 5 presentations we've done, and they're all online, ready for you to see if you wish to explore the work we've been doing on skills. And what I'd say is I've learned a lot about skills, and I hope that the audience also have picked up new views and new ideas in this area, because I certainly have. And so if the idea of being a good leader is that you're constantly learning, I feel like I've learned a lot. So Leatham, thank you very much again, and thank you very much, audience, for joining us. It's great to see you all.